Is my ankle indestructible because I can jump and land on my ankle like this? Let me tell you the truth. Ankle injuries will and can always happen. Just imagine the scenario of you playing your sport, jumping up, and then unexpectedly landing on someone's foot. Your ankle is going to roll to the side and you're going to get injured. Or not. Let's look at it from a perspective of bulletproofing. Can you actually bulletproof your ankles? And for that, we have to break it down in two different categories, right? One category will be, okay, can we actually dodge the injury? So when it comes to dodging the ankle injury, in that scenario of you jumping down and unexpectedly landing on someone's foot, there's two things that could happen. Either your ankle is not rolling to the side at all, right? It keeps strong, it stays strong, it doesn't roll to the side, it has that connection, and you dodge the injury, obviously, right? Nothing's happening. The other thing that could happen though, and you could still dodge the injury there, and when we're looking at, how high people are jumping, how thick these soles are, and how crazy prone this position is when you're landing on someone's foot, it might just happen that that ankle rolls to the side, but you could still dodge the injury there, because now what happens with bulletproofing, right? Bulletproofing is not just, dodging a bullet. Bulletproofing is actually, okay, if the bullet hits you, it's not actually doing any damage. And that's the goal we have with our ankles as well. In terms of, okay, if that ankle rolls to the side, we're not getting as much damage. And that's the second point, which is minimize damage, right? Minimizing damage in terms of, okay, if that ankle rolls to the side, what could we have done before so that now if we get into this prone position, the tissues are not going to be, oh my God, what's happening? And everything swells up, everything is in pain, but rather, okay, we were there before, we're actually strong, and those tissues have the length, have the strength to make sure, for example, that the ligament doesn't tear, right? It's just a little bit of an overstretch, and it really goes into fine detail there in terms of minimizing damage, because it could go as far as to where you're so strong in that outer position where the damage that happens, right? You're stretching in that position, you get stretched into that position unexpectedly. It looks like you dodged the injury because nothing's happened, right? Because you built up that tolerance. And that's what I mean by bulletproofing. Bulletproofing is not, okay, injuries cannot happen at all. Bulletproofing is more so, okay, what if we get pushed into a prone position when playing our sport? Are we actually able to resist getting an injury there? Are we minimizing the damage, or are we just, oh man, like, yeah, unfortunately, this is a prone position of mine, I got injured? No. Bulletproofing, we want to make sure that no matter which position we get into, we've at least done the maximum to make sure the tissues are ready. We're going to recover as fast as possible because the tissues were already there at one point and have kind of built up to that tolerance of, okay, this position is not something I'm not used to. And that's what bulletproofing means to me in terms of minimizing injury risk, minimizing the damage you're suffering from an injury so you can bounce back as quick as possible, or you could just continue playing. Once you understand that and see, okay, bulletproofing has no limits, right? As long as I keep getting stronger and stronger in certain positions, get those adaptations, because tissues can adapt. If we expose them to certain experiences, certain positions, those tissues are going to adapt, right? And I'm not saying that, okay, because they're adapted, you cannot get injured at all. But what we've seen is that, okay, a person now rolls their ankle and nothing happens because they got strong in that position. And especially with ankle sprains, where people are spraining their ankles left and right over and over again, and they think, yeah, okay, I just got weak ankles, or they try and not roll the ankle to the side at all and keep the ankle really stiff. But what happens then is they land on someone's foot, and like, no chance you're gonna avoid rolling your ankle there, and boom, a big injury happens. But if instead you would have built up into these prone positions, you wouldn't shy away from them, but you actually push your tissues to adapt to certain positions, certain loads, then you could really reduce the risk of you getting a serious injury or getting injured at all. That's what I wanted you to understand here, because obviously I'm sharing the bulletproof truth, so to say, every single day here. So it's important for you to understand, what do we mean by bulletproof, right?